Greetings, everybody. I'm back. Well, I've been working on a little something. I decided to terraport my goblin deck. I never played it. I built it, and I just never play it. I never feel the need. It's like, it's just not interesting to me. I've made goblin decks before. I have a friend who loves goblins to death back over in the US, but like, he makes goblin decks. He loves goblins. Shout out to Josh. I have a friend here in Australia that has a binder full of goblins that he collects in honor of his of a good friend of his that passed away. Shout out to Lee. But personally, I just don't find goblins that interesting. They're an old creature type from the very beginnings of Magic the Gathering when it came out, and I'm gonna do something different. Okay, so I tore that deck apart and I decided, you know what is an interesting commander that I've thought about before but haven't done is Grist. I'm going to do a Grist deck. Grist the Hunger Tide. So, as long as he isn't on the battlefield, it's a 1/1 insect creature token in addition to its other types. So, when it's in the command zone, not on the battlefield, it's a legendary creature. So, you can use it as a commander. It doesn't need you may use so-and-so as a commander because it's a planeswalker. So yeah. So what does he do? Create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token. Mill a card. If it's an insect card that was milled this way, put a loyalty counter on Grist and repeat the process. So I can create a creature token. -2, I can sack a creature, and when I do, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Or I can -5, and each opponent loses life equal to the number of creature cards in the graveyards. So, the -5 is a win con. And people will not like that, I'm sure. They will try to take him out. So, I've got things sleeved. This isn't like a mega expensive put together deck. I don't think I even have tutors in it. It's just a small creature deck. It's just going to try and like overrun people, go wide. So for enchantments, a new one from Lore Wind Eclipse. Now we've got my buddy Nargis here, who's decided to jump on the table and make himself be a menace because no one's paying attention. All right, there, now he's going for a package. But anyway, this enchantment is uncommon from Lore When Eclipsed. It's got Vivid. When this enchantment enters, search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents. Oh, now he's sniffing the camera. He's going to knock it over. Get out of here. Come on. Let's move it, hey? Yeah. You know how cats are. They just want to get right in the way of everything when you're doing stuff. So when it enters, search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Reveal those cards, put them into your hand, then shuffle. So when it comes into play, I can search for a land or two, being as I've got 2 color types in here. And then permanently, as an enchantment on the battlefield says, I can play an additional land on each of my turns. That's nothing to sneeze at. Moldervine Reclamation. Whenever a creature you control dies, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Fungal Fortitude. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0. When enchanted creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. It'll be used to protect various creatures. Vampiric Rites. 1 colorless. Not 1 colorless, 1 black. From Double Masters 2022. So 1 colorless, 1 black, sack a creature, so it's a sack outlet. You gain 1 life and draw a card. Perfect. Arborea. Now I thought this would be interesting in here. It's a world enchantment. This is a nothing rare from Dominaria Remastered. I happened to pull a full art version at one point. Creatures can't attack a player unless that player casts a spell or puts a non-token permanent onto the battlefield during their turn. Oh, creatures can't attack a player unless that player casts a spell or put a non-token permanent onto the battlefield during this turn. With Grist, I can pump out a creature. Token. They can't attack me, but I'm building my board still. Now, I could put token doublers in here. Not gonna. The only one I got right now that does that it would benefit the entire table. I'm not giving everyone benefits. Retreat to Kanzu, enchantment, it's landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose one. We'll put a 1/1 counter on target creature, or I gain 2 life. The Hunger Tide rises. So for 3 chapters on this saga, I create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token. Then at the end, I can sacrifice any number of them, search my library and or graveyard for a creature card with mana value less than or equal to the number of creatures sacked this way, and put it into the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle. So it's kind of a tutor, but not really. Wild Growth lets me tap a land for another green. Gift of Paradise lets me tap a land for 2 mana of any one color. So it can be black or green. And it gains me life. Bastion of Remembrance. So when it enters, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain a life. Phyrexian Arena. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and lose a life. So that's just some card draw I threw in there. This deck could change. I've already seen like 1 or 2 things that I thought were a good idea at the time, but I'm already like, maybe not. So Terra Sunder. I can kick it for an additional colorless and black. And I can exile target artifact or enchantment. If this spell is kicked, exile target non-land permanent instead. So I can get rid of an artifact or enchantment, or I can get rid of a creature or a land. Oh no, non-land. I can add a land into it. Never mind. So Collective Resistance is kind of like a 1 creature... what is it? It's just like 1 creature protection. 1 colorless, 1 green. I can escalate it, pay it for each mode beyond the first, destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, or target creature gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So protection. Putrefy, artifact and creature destruction. Tainted Treats from the new Ninja Turtles. Destroy target artifact or creature. If its mana value was 4 or less, create a food token. So I can create another token. Village Rites for card draw by sacking a creature. Strength in numbers. Until end of turn, target creature gains trample and gets +X/+X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Awesome. If I'm going wide, I'll need it. Lull. Prevent all common damage that would be dealt this turn. Or I can cycle it. Card draw. Dark Ritual. Add 3 black to my mana pool. So for a little bit of ramp. So for creatures, Fulmus, the Infestation. Now this is an awesome card I thought I would throw in here. So I pulled this from a pack ages ago. Flying, Death Touch. Whenever a player sacks a non-token creature, create a 1/1 black insect creature token with flying. So whenever I just sack a creature that I've cast, physical card creature, I get back another token. And whenever an insect, leech, slug, or worm you control attacks, defending player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So, Aristocrats kind of theme going on too. Iara, First of Locthwain. Whenever she or another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and I gain 1 life. And I can sacrifice a black creature to draw a card. So she's card draw as well. Lord Dreg, insect, Graveshifter, so he's a changeling for 3 colorless and a black. And when it enters, I may return target creature card from my graveyard to my hand, so it's kind of a little bit of recursion. I don't really care about that so much in this deck. Lord Dreg, Insect Invader, legendary uncommon creature, insect warrior, flying, disappear. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, create a 1/1 black insect warrior creature token with flying. And I can also sack a token for 3 and a green and draw a card. So another sack outlet and creates more creatures. This is from Edge of Eternity's Sea Chip Agrarian. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, create a lander token. And Landfall, whenever a land you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. So he can get big and he can make me tokens. Heartstabber Mosquito, kicker, 2 and a black. Flying, when Heartstopper Mosquito enters, if it was kicked, destroy target creature. So it's creature destruction and or just a flying body. Swarm Color, Insect Warrior from Edge of Eternity's flying. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, draw a card. So more card draw and flying. Mirkwood Bats. Whenever you create or sack a token, each opponent loses 1 life. Beautiful. And then my biggest creature in here, Crater Hoof. To friggin', if I'm going really wide, then it's going to be impossible to stop me. So on the list of things that cost no more than 3 mana, creature-wise, to come out, we got now Chomping Changeling, and it can take out an artifact or an enchantment, and it's every creature type. Mass Vandal. Changeling again. Shapeshifters aren't bad for this deck. When it enters the battlefield, I can exile a creature card from my graveyard. If I do, exile target artifact or enchantment and opponent controls. So more artifact and enchantment destruction. Insect Horror. Insatiable Skittermaw with Menace. Void, at the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or spell was warped this turn, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. So I can make this fucking thing giant over time. Comet Crawler. Lifelink. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sack another creature or artifact. If you do, it gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. So I can make it 4/3. And it's Lifelinker. Meltstrider Eulogist. Insect Soldier. Whenever a creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it dies, draw a card. Broodhatch Nantucko. Insect Droid. Whenever it's dealt damage, I may create that many 1/1 green insect creature tokens. And it can morph. Eumidian Terrabotanist. Insect Droid. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, I gain a life. More land creation. Wirewood Symbiote. Now, this is just simply to be in here as a 1/1 artifact and 1/1 insect creature. But I can return an elf I control to with my hand and untap target creature. I'm not going to use that. It's just a 1/1 insect. Bilious Skull Dweller. Phyrexian Insect. Death Touch. Toxic 1. Blight Beetle from M20. I got rid of a bunch of M20 commons and uncommons ages ago. I sold for bulk, and there were some cards I thought were pretty good. I kept, and Blight Beetle was one of them. So it's protection from green. Creatures your opponents control can't have 1/1 counters on them. So this is just like kind of a little stacksy, but barely. Marauding Blight Priest. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Insectoid Exterminator. So this is another piece of Aristocrats. Insectoid Exterminator. Flying. Disappear at another Ninja Turtle card, by the way. Disappear at the beginning of your end step. If a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, scry 1. So I can scry with this. Nadir Nightblade. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and I gain 1 life. So, more Aristocrats. Vengeful Blood Witch. Not even it's a vampire, but more Aristocrats. Whenever this creature or another creature you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and I gain 1. Vermin Gorger. More Aristocrats, kind of. A sack outlet. Sack another creature. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain a life. Blood Artist. Typical. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Sack outlet. I can do damage. Any number of target players lose 2 life when I sack 2 other creatures. And they sacrifice a creature. And I add 2 black, so it's also, ramp. Soulport Cutthroat. When a creature dies, when this guy dies, or another creature, each opponent loses 1 life and I gain a life. Ghostly Changeling, another shapeshifter, and I can pump it. Chatterfang. I threw Chatterfang in here because he's just going to fucking keep pumping me out more tokens. Every time I make a token, he creates a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. And I can sacrifice all those squirrel tokens, and target creature will get +X/-X until end of turn, so another sack outlet. And Scute Mob at the beginning of my upkeep. If I control 5 or more lands, put 4 1/1 counters on Scute Mob. So he's a 1 green, 1/1 that if I get out by turn 5, if I have to pop him out on turn 2 or 3 in a couple turns, he'll be giant. So yeah, that's all right. Again, like I said, this is just a insect deck. something I thought about for a while. So non-basic lands. Haunted Mire, Maze of Vith, Needham, Command Tower, yes. Woodland Cemetery, Exotic Orchard, Swarm Yard, Dryad Arbor, to have a 1/1 creature that I could also sack. But it's a Forest Dryad. Overgrown Tomb, of course, Tainted Wood, of course, and Land of War Wastes. Now, for the artifacts package, I've only got 9 or 10 artifacts in here. Skull Clamp, of course. I can clamp any of these little 1/1s. Card draw. Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, Ice Cream Kitty from Ninja Turtles. 2, sack a creature, 2 tap 2, and sack another creature or token. Draw a card, activate only as a sorcery. So it is Sack Outlet. Card draw. 2, tap, sacrifice this creature. You gain 3 life. So it's food. Banner of Kinship. I can pop this down once I've got 10. 5, 8, 10 insect creature tokens on the table, and it'll just buff them plus 10. And that'll be basically game ending. Swiftfoot Boots for protection. Haywire Might. When it dies, I gain 2 life. It's also an insect. 1/1 for 1 colorless, and I can sack it. Exile target non-land artifact or non-creature enchantment. Golgari Key Rune. I've been looking for a reason to use this. So, 3 colorless to come out. Tap it to add green or black to my mana pool. So it's ramp. Tap a green or black. It becomes a 2/2 black and green insect artifact creature with death touch until end of turn. And then Maskwood Nexus to give everything changeling. Everything will be all insects. So in my sorcery package, Crippling Fear, Languish, a couple of board wipes. I've got Bushwhack to search for basic land, or I can make one of my creatures fight another creature, so it's kind of like creature destruction, etc. Sign in Blood, card draw. For the common good, creating more tokens. So this deck could change, but this is my deck tech for Grist at the moment. I may go to Commander tomorrow, I may not, we'll see how I'm feeling, but yeah. It's kind of my off week, and I work tomorrow, so then I'd be like racing to go. And I wouldn't get there till a bit later than I normally would like to, but I might, you never know. In the world we're living in right now, with things happening back home in the US, the way they're happening, and things in the Middle East, who knows what tomorrow brings. So go out there and enjoy yourself. Have some fun, and try not to get depressed. Just do the things that you normally do and enjoy life, because you never know what'll come tomorrow. All right, guys, peace out. Enjoy. Play more Magic. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.